What is going on, guys? It is another awesome day. Welcome 2020. Super excited. New year. New things planned. So exciting. But anyway, this first video I'm going to get into, guys, I want to talk about some of the tools of the trade. So, roll that new intro. Now, there's many different tools that we can use when handling, reptiles and venomous snakes, particularly. So I do have some of them here in front of me that I want to go over. Some of the tools that I personally use. Other people might have other preferences on what they like to use, but these are my main tools. These are what I use almost every single day, with the exception of a few of them, but I still have them just in case for when I do need them. So the first thing we're going to go over is very simply snake hooks. So we're going to start with the smallest guy here. I do use this one a lot for the arboreal tree vipers and baby rattlesnakes. So small snakes, you definitely need a small snake hook if you're going to be using or handling smaller species of snakes, because using them on a very big snake hook for the arboreal stuff, yeah, you can use it, but also you got to remember that the cage they're in is smaller. So shorter, smaller, a lot easier to use. Now I also have my normal snake hook. You guys have seen me use this so many times in so many different videos. Yeah, it's a shorter snake hook. This is actually a Midwest snake hook. I actually have had this particular snake hook, I want to say, for at least 4 or 5 years now. I got it in different colors. This one is blue. My other snake hook that I have is exactly the same. It's actually a red hook instead of a blue hook. So this is your standard length snake hook. It's about 30 inches. Not standard length, but standard snake hook. 30 inches long. They also do have a 40-inch snake hook, which I use for the more dangerous snakes. See if I get the whole thing on camera there. Bam! So that one is red, as you can see right there. Midwest tongs, see if I'll focus on it. Maybe, yeah, Midwest tongs right there. I will actually be putting their link for their website in the description below, so you guys can check them out after this if you want. They're not sponsoring this video in any way or shape or form, but I personally love their tools, so they're the tools that I use, with the exception of this guy. So this was actually one of my first snake hooks, very small, as you can see, about the length of my arm, tiny. The hook isn't even all that great, but because of the U shape there. Now when I had got this, I actually got this from one of my guys down here that is an importer. He also sells random little cheaper tools. This was the first snake hook I got. I actually wrapped it myself in a camo sticker pretty much, and I used this snake hook for everything. I used to pick up some of the most deadliest snakes in the world with this tiny little snake hook. I don't really use it anymore. Trying to be safer, especially now that I have coral. But this hook and me have been through some stuff together. I've dropped this thing in canals. It's been everywhere with me. It's been all the way up to Georgia, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. The snake hook's been everywhere with me. So I do love this little snake hook. Don't really use it anymore. Usually I'll keep this one in the car for whatever reason, in case I go out herping or anything like that. Now when it comes to tongs, you have many different types of tongs. You have these types of tongs. You also have these types of tongs. But there's also the other type of tongs, which pretty much look like a giant pair of scissors. Now, I'm sure you guys remember these from most of the episodes, my feeding tongs. Now these guys are great. I don't exactly know the manufacturer of these, but most reptile stores do carry these with the rubber tips on the end. Now I do like these for the smaller snakes that actually do strike and miss quite often at their food items. These guys are great because it will protect their fangs. Sometimes their fangs get stuck in them, you just have to gently get them out. So these are my #1 feeding tongs right here. Now I also have a big pair of silver ones, these guys right here, but these are literally just for picking up poop. Now with the bedding that I use, when the poop does dry, which usually takes about a day. It is extremely easy to pick it up with these pair of tongs, so that's the only thing I actually use these tongs for, is just to pick up poop. That's it, nothing else, pretty simple. Now I also have a smaller little thing of tongs right here. Now these guys are also great for feeding stuff like the crocodilian outside. Yes, it doesn't have the rubber tip on them, but I'm a little bit more careful when I'm feeding them. I do and I don't have to be more careful, I should say, because they're they're pretty easy, you know where they're gonna get. So I usually use these guys for them, and I'll also use these for my quarantine snakes as well, because I don't have to worry about cross-contaminations between the crocodilians and the snakes. So I'll use these little bad boys. I love them. I've had these also for about 6 or 7 years now. Now the bigger tongs that I have here, now these are also made by Midwest. This is about a 40-inch tong with a handle grip. Now normally a lot of people use this to go catch snakes, a lot of animal trappers, things like that. I personally like to use them for feeding big stuff like rabbits or the jumbo rat sometimes to the berm, because they can actually grab the rabbit a lot easier. Now these are sold also with a big rubber tip on them on the front and back. Again, the link in the description will have Midwest's website, so you guys can check out all these stuff. Now these will run you about $100, but these things are awesome. They're great. They're good to have in a collection. In case you ever do have a wiry snake and you do need to grab them with this, you can. I never have used these particular ones for snakes, but they do help a lot with the feeding process for bigger snakes like the Burmese python or big anacondas, things like that. Now these little bad boys are pretty much like a giant pair of scissors. You'll see these kind of doctor style stuff also sold in some reptile stores. So you can lock on to the rat's tail. They have little grips right here, so it locks together and stays closed. Pretty cool, but I really don't use these anymore. These are also very, very old. They're a little bent. There's a lot of dry blood on that. Yeah, so these things have been through hell and back with me as well. So they're great, great tools. But again, I like to use my feeding tongs when it comes to tongs with the rubberized tips, so my snakes are safe. These do come in many different sizes. You can actually even get the smaller ones with the rubber tips on them as well, but I like the bigger ones. I'm actually going to be getting, oh, there's some dry venom on there. It's yellow, you probably can't see it, but anyway, these are a medium-sized one. They also have them in a bigger size, like the size of this bad boy, which I'll probably get here soon, just because I'm getting bigger snakes and more snakes, so the farther distance they have away from my hand when striking at food is obviously going to be safer. So that's something I definitely want to get here very soon. I just need to go to my buddy's place and get it. Now, last but not least, a very important tool that all venomous keepers should keep are tubes. Yes, this one's a little broken, so it's taped. These are actually my sister's. I personally don't own tubes, but they are great. Now, the reason for the tubes, if you need to, 1, medicate a snake, 2, check the sex of a snake, 3, just overall check out the snake. They can easily come in different sizes, but the snake will actually go inside the tube, so it can't turn around and bite you. You have to pick the proper size for the snake. So you can either check the snake out, give it medicine. I actually used one of these in very early episodes on YouTube, putting my baby South American, well, she's not a baby anymore, but putting my baby South American rattlesnake in one so I could actually medicate her. Just because it was a lot easier at the time. I was by myself. I did film it. I put it on YouTube. I'll put that video up in the time card so you can see how these tubes are used. But really cool, really handy to have. I've used these in the past with Tyler Nolan when we sex snakes, but definitely a good tool. I believe these are sold on Midwest tongs too, but again, most reptile stores will carry stuff like this as well. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little video about the tools of the trade. This is definitely something I've been wanting to do, and this is something I'm going to continue to do with other different things as well. So hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Patreons, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all your support during all this downtime. If you guys would like to become a Patreon and get exclusive footage, behind the scenes, weekly interviews, things like that, you guys should definitely check out the tiers on my Patreon. I'll put the link in the description below so you guys can check that out if you want. Remember guys, smash that like button if that's something you like to do. Welcome 2020, super excited. It's gonna be a great year. But subscribe if you are not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Oh man, I almost forgot about this guy. So this snake hook right here, so a normal, let's say about 40-inch snake hook, this thing is a classic. So this was my sister's old field herping hook, and then she passed it down to me. This thing, you wanna talk about a tool that's been through some shit? This thing's been through everything. This thing has been dropped in canals for days where I had to go back and fish it out with a magnet. This thing has been left and gotten run over in cars, by cars. What else? I mean, this thing is, it's bent. Yeah, it's bent. This thing is old, almost as old as me, probably. And I'll be 30 next month. This thing is, oh my God, I forgot about this. Like, I can't believe I still have this. So, yeah, like this thing has gotten beaten, scratched, left, run over. Literally, this thing has been through hell and back. This snake hook has been in my family now for quite some time because, like I said, it was my sister's first, and I can't believe that I still have it. I forgot about it. But I wanted to show you guys because I thought it was cool. Definitely a interesting little snake hook, but yeah.